28 in the first half. Remarkable.
Wow, that is remarkable. Nicholas King, he's on his heels all night long. Mount SAC has done an excellent job of putting pressure on the quarterback. Same can be said with Riverside's defense. They looked very good too also. So obviously if it ends up being a defensive struggle, Mount SAC will walk out of here with a win.
Mount SAC dominating the time of possession in that first half. They had the ball for 17 minutes and 4 seconds, where RCC just had it for under 13 minutes at 12 minutes and 56 seconds. Mount SAC, they've run 43 plays for 281 yards. That's right around where they want to be against an RCC defense that is as potent as they are. But you look at RCC, they've ran 28 plays for just 85 yards. You take a look at Denzel Foster, who's carried it 3 times for 30 yards. In fact, you got to think that he's going to be more of a factor in the second half, right?
Yeah, well, part of that 30 yards came on the draw with third and very, very long, and so Mount SAC was back in their prevent defense, and so a lot of those yards just came freely. Also, first downs came freely as the officials kept calling Mount SAC for penalties at crucial times.
Yeah, Christopher Anderson, he led the way carrying the football for RCC, 5 carries for just 12 yards. And Nicholas King, he's kept it 7 times for 32 yards with a long of 15. Passing the football, we talked about the atrocious numbers last time. Some more atrocious numbers for the sophomore King in this first half. Like we mentioned, just 28 yards. 5 for 13 is Nicholas King. And before we go in depth as far as the Mounties go offensively with the stats, what does Nicholas King and this RCC offense have to do to move into Mountie territory in the second half? Something they didn't do the entire first half.
Well, they can't depend on King alone. Is that, right now they're dependent upon him, whether it be that Foster's a little dinged, Christopher can't get the ball going. Somebody else is going to have to carry the rock for RCC other than Nick King. If they continue to rest this thing on his shoulders, as you can see, he's not perfect.
Well, you take a look at the Mountie statistics now. Omar Stolbert, he's been great again. 13 carries for 77 yards. That's 5.5 per pop, and that's right around where Coach Jastrab wants him.
Well, that is an amazing stat, Chris, because you look at this game. You're seeing it with me. This is a physical ball game. A lot of his carries are 1 to 2 yards, a lot of pad cracking inside there, and that is going to be what wins the football game, is who wins the line of scrimmage.
Justin Allo, he's been a busy man running the football as well. 10 carries for 33 yards with a long of 25 in that first half. But passing the football, he's been excellent. Nothing short of brilliant against a very talented RCC secondary. Even though minus Trayshawn Broughton, they're still very talented, is RCC at the second level. Justin Allo, 10 of 17 passing for 167 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 to Derek Macon, 1 to Tredante Hill. You can't say enough about the sophomore who we didn't know a lot about coming into the season.
Yeah, Tredante Hill you're talking about?
We're talking about Justin Allo.
I'm sorry.
We only saw him very limited last year with Rocky Moore in the starting role.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Allo is an athlete. Mount SAC has taken advantage of his ability to really put some mustard on the football, throwing the ball down the seams. He has tried to hit a couple of vertical fades. They've been a little long. He's a little off there. But like you say, 7 for 10, I'll take that any day.
10 for 17. Same thing, right?
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I mean, the Mounties are winning 14-0.
Again, numbers aren't my
I'm not very good at math myself.
I know what 14-0 means.
It means the Mounties are taking care of business here at the half.
Amen.
That is the score. The Mounties lead 14-0. Not too many times we're going to talk about punters when talking about statistics, but how about Anthony Zamora, the RCC punter? He punted it away 8 times in that first half against the Mounties, but he did a good job. He pinned the Mounties deep multiple times. He averaged 44.6 yards per punt. Christian Fulham for the Mounties punted it 6 times himself. He's averaging 36 yards per boot. Overall, just a first half dominated by both defenses, but fortunately for Mount SAC, the offense late in that second quarter able to get a couple of things going and get a couple scores up on the board. They lead 14-0 here at the half.
Yeah. I mean, if you looked at the RCC offense versus the Mount SAC offense, I'd take the Mount SAC offense tonight any day. I mean, they have shown some brilliance, especially that long pass at the end, but I mean, they have been able to move the football. RCC, on the other hand, has been dormant. They have not been able to figure out how to move the football against that mighty Mountie defense.
Yeah, RCC 0 of 8 on third down conversions. That's not going to help their cause. Hey, I'm asking for a prediction from you. I'm not asking for a who's going to win this game. Will RCC offensively get into enemy territory here in the second half? They didn't do it the entire first half.
Chris, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say no. As I see it right now, unless they have been practicing something that I have never seen RCC run all season long, they have tried their entire playbook, and none of it is working other than a draw here or there or a quarterback scramble, which is undesigned and is hard to stop anyway.
And you take a look at the Mountie secondary, I mean, it's hard to find a flaw in this defense, but through the first 5-6 games, the secondary, a little bit shaky at times, but the first time these two teams met up, they held perhaps the best wide receiver in junior college football, at least in Southern California, Isaac Whitney, to 1 reception for 1 yard. Here in the first half, just one more reception for Whitney and 5 yards with it as well. What has made this Mountie secondary so impressive here in the second half of the season that's translated into the postseason?
I think they made a couple moves. They moved Tyrone Glass up from the safety position to the corner position, so that solidified that part of the defense for them. I think also, they're talking to each other. I think that you're looking at a Mount Sac football team that is not full of superstars, but they're just full of football players, those football players are talking to each other. And when you get that on a defense, you get eye contact, you get guys reading and telling each other what they're going to do, what they see, verbalizing it with each other, not mixing up their coverages. Well, you got what you see here tonight.
Well, when you talk about the secondary, you got to talk about the linebackers. Sully and Sidi Tama Avena combined 11 tackles in that first half. A sack for Sully, a half a sack for Sidi. It just got to make you grin a little bit every night when you think about that these two are coming back next season to Mount Sac.
Oh, just to see them both out there tonight. I don't think I've seen them since maybe game 2 of the season, both healthy, both out there playing full speed. I think they're almost unstoppable, Chris. I mean, that's why I'm kind of saying Riverside may not see the 50-yard line tonight.
Well, that's your bold prediction. One thing we do know, the winner of this game will take on CCSF in the state championship game, and you know a thing or two about the CCSF Rams. The Mounties played them a couple of times back-to-back in 2010, 2011. Both teams split. The Mounties won the state championship in 2010. CCSF up north won it in 2011. It's down here this year. What do you expect out of the North's best CCSF?
Well, CCSF is a nationwide football program. Coach George Rush up there does an excellent job of getting visibility to his team, getting players from across the nation to play for him. Jan Steele was the last quarterback I saw before that. In 97, I saw Brown, who was a running back that went up to Washington State. That 1997 football team for San Francisco City College is probably the best junior college football team I'd ever seen in my 17 years of covering junior college football.
But the Mounties beat them, right?
Amazingly. Amazingly. That was a team that just would not die.
Well, the Mounties right now currently beating a very talented RCC squad who just dropped one game all season. For the Mounties to close it out, to close out the victory, close out their ticket, punch their ticket to the state championship game. We've seen them blow a couple of both their losses this year. They've blown double-digit leads.
Yeah.
What do they have to do here in the second half to seal the deal?
I think they need that turnover, Chris. I think that, that it's eluded them in the first game against RCC, other than on the interception, RCC fumbled the ball back to the Mounties. But other than that, they didn't have any turnovers. I think tonight we need to see that turnover to solidify the deal.
We'll step aside here on the Mountie Football Radio Network, but when we get back, it'll be the start of the third quarter. Start of the second half, it's the Mounties 14, Riverside City College nothing. Start of the second half coming up next on the Mountie Football Radio Network.
Welcome to Mixmasters, your number one choice for studio recording and post-production audio since 1999. Conveniently located in North Long Beach, California, near the 710 and 91 freeways. We are the one-stop shop for mixtapes, original beats, ghostwriting, audio audio mastering, graphic design, and CD duplication. Our pricing starts as low as $20 an hour, and all new customers get their first hour free. Featuring a friendly staff of skilled engineers, the most convenient hours available, and welcoming guests of all ages and skill levels. You can even leave with a DVD video of your session. So text or call for an appointment today at 562-355-2302. That's 562-355-2302. Or hit us up on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Mixmasters Long Beach. Mixing business with pleasure.
Start of the second half from Wheelock Stadium in Riverside, California. It's 14-0. The Mounties lead. RCC will receive the kick to begin the third quarter. Alberto Villarreal for the third time tonight to boot it away. Tremel Davis and Alejandro Marenco back deep to get it for RCC. Tremel Davis 4 yards deep in his own end zone will take a knee, and it'll be a touchback for Alberto Villarreal. Touchback number 12 on the season for the Mountie kicker, and RCC to begin the second half will start at their own 25. Like I mentioned earlier in the first half, Mountie man, an offensive performance for the paper shredder. You got to just erase the entire first half of your RCC out of your mind and get ready to go for the second half. You trail
it'll
by
be
14.
Interesting to see how they change it up in the second half here. They're going to have to.
1st and 10. Handoff straight ahead. Denzel Foster with a head of steam across the 30-yard line to the 31 for a 6-yard pickup. Well, if you're the Mounties, you're up by 14, but you're not sitting all that comfortably. In the 2 losses this year, you had double-digit leads and you blew it.
Yeah, well, that was predictable. They're coming, not the loss, but they're coming with the running game at them.
Handoff Foster, and he's very close to a Riverside first down to the 34-yard line. He might be half a yard short. Looks like he will be, and it'll bring up 3rd and inches for RCC.
Yeah, they didn't get a very favorable spot on that one. So
well, we took a look at the stats. Foster averaging 10 yards per carry in that first half. It's good to see that RCC is utilizing their best running back. The SCFA Offensive Player of the Year, and now a penalty marker will fly in. Somebody jumped. We'll await to see what the call was from our officiating crew down in the field. Both sides pointing it was against each other, and RCC finally gets something to go their way. The Mounties jumped off sides.
Yeah, I didn't like that call at all. The line judge on the RCC side called off sides on Mount Sac's football team on the Mountie side, across the field from him.
Nonetheless, 1st and 10 for RCC. They're 11 yards away from your prediction not coming to fruition. Handoff Foster, and he's popped hard as he gets back to the original line of scrimmage for no gain.
Yeah, that was a great Skyler did a great job of turning Foster back up into the middle of the line of scrimmage.
Skyler Crawl, the 6'2", 255-pound sophomore out of Glendora High School, back to get Foster in the backfield that time. 2nd and 10 for RCC. Foster will get a breather. Anderson, the lone back. Looked like some early movement again. King to keep, and King is taken down in the backfield for a loss of 9. It's Sully Tama Avena with the sack.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Sully's going off of the field. I hope he's all right. He takes his twin with him. I don't like to see that. They've been injury-prone this year.
Now, Sully was banged up in week 1 in the win over College of the Canyons. Good to see him back, and hopefully he's all right, but his 2nd sack of the night backs RCC up to their own 30-yard line. 3rd and 20 for the Tigers. That's the 2nd time tonight they've gotten to Nick King in the backfield. The tight end Morin in motion. 4 wide set, play action. King going to step up in the pocket, throw over the middle. Did the Mounties pick it? No, they did not. Taekwon Glass is livid with the official down in the field. Excuse me, that's Joseph Bryant, who thought he had an interception, but the official to the near side will rule that the ball hit the turf. Incompletion.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with the official there. He had a good angle on it.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Yeah.
Joseph Bryant, though, he was convinced that he had a pick.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, Anthony Zamora, the Riverside punter, on for the 9th time tonight. Mounties will bring some pressure. Zamora, the left-footed punter, will get it off, and Aaron Vaughn's a wise decision to let this one hop and roll on out of bounds at the 32-yard line. So with 12:37 left to go in the third quarter. A 14-0 Mountie lead, and out comes Justin Allo in the offense for their first possession of the second half.
I am absolutely